Hi, it's Nancy here, and welcome to my craft room. Today I have the April 2018 Hero Arts card kit, which is the Fiesta time, and there's lots of unboxing kits, so I'm not going to go into it, but this is what the stamp looks like. And the first card I'm going to do on craft paper, and I'm going to use a Hero Art white pigment ink, and I'm going to stamp some of the cactuses down first. I'm going to try to create a wreath, and what I'm going to do is try to shadow them by having the white or ink go on the first layer, and then the second layer I'm going to stamp down color with the ink pads that came with the kit. So here's a look at what I'm doing. I'm putting it inside my MISTI, and I've got my circle drawn there, and I'm stamping around the edge of the circle, and I've got all the white pigment ink down, and now I'm going to come back with some color. The kit came with 3 ink pads. It's Fiesta Teal, Fiesta Red, and Fiesta Lemon. And then one of the other kits, maybe the March or April kit, came with a orange and kind of a sage green. And I'm going to use the green on my cactuses and the orange just to add some variety. So I'm just going around and stamping down um, some color. I slightly offset the card. I took it out of the MISTI before I started stamping the color and cut it down a little bit so that I could um, slightly offset the colored stamps from the white. So here's a quick look at how the panel turned out. Now I'm going to try to figure out a sentiment, and I'm going to use Fiesta, and I've got some green embossing powder. I think it came from a Love from Lizzie kit that I think is going to go nicely on this craft. So I'm going to place that down, stamp it down with the Versamark ink, and then heat dry this. Then I'm going to use some black VersaFine and just stamp in time below the Fiesta. And I think that'll finish off the front of this card. Now I'm going to assemble the card onto a piece of white cardstock. I decided to use some colored paper there behind the first panel, behind the craft, and it's just kind of a dotted, you can't see it too well in the camera there, but it's got the colors of the ink in the dots on the paper. So I'm going to adhere the craft to that panel, and it's slightly offset, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue that down onto a piece of white Neenah cardstock, and I think I have that cut down to 5.5 by 4.25. When I first started making cards, I got in the habit of turning over the back side of the card and putting my initials and the year that the card was made, and it's fun to go back and look and see your progress. So there's the front of the card, and I've got some Nuvo Crystal drops that I'm coordinating with the colors of the ink, and I'm just going to add a few little splatters here and there just to create a little bit more interest. And this finishes off the first card. Okay, so card number 2 is going to be an invitation to a dinner party, and then I could easily mass produce these. So I've cut my panel down to 3.5 by 3.5, and I put a piece of tape on the folded part of the card so I don't get the ink onto the back side of the card. And I'm going to take these inks and rub them down and create a background. So the first one I'm using is that Fiesta Red, and then I'm going to go in with the Fiesta Lemon and blend that together. And then I'm going to finally take the Fiesta Teal and finish off the front of that panel. And I think that turns out really pretty. I really like the way those inks blend, and I like the color combination. So I'm going to clean up just a little bit, and I'm also going to try spraying a little water down on the front of that panel and see how these inks react to the water. I didn't put a lot of water on it, but it just kind of smoothed the inks together. I think if I would have left it on there longer, I would have got some droplets, but this is fine for what I'm using this card for today. So I'm going to go ahead and take the tape off, and I'm going to come back with a cut out circle, and I'm going to stamp the word Fiesta down on that circle, and I'm going to assemble that to my card panel, and I'm going to just slightly offset that circle off to the right of the card, and then I'm going to cut it up and have the ends all match. I decided the white was a little too plain, so I got the Fiesta lemon out and decided to ink a little lemon around the white just to kind of cut the boldness of the white out. So I like the way that looked. I've stamped out the donkey that came in the kit, and I'm going to get out my Copic markers and some gel pens and go ahead and color in the little donkey. And I apologize, I get off the screen here while I'm coloring, but I'm not doing anything special, just kind of filling him in and using the gel markers to go over the fine details of I guess the saddle that he has on. So I'm going to assemble the donkey, and I've also um, colored in the guitar that came in the kit, and I'm going to raise the donkey up a little bit with some adhesive tape, and I just glued the guitar down flat. I had some teal colored sequins in my stash, and I'm going to add a few of those just to create some more interest on the front of the card. And I also had a few stars that I'm going to add on. And I really liked the way this invitation turned out, and I'm going to make a few more and actually have a fiesta party. So that's the two cards I've created today, and I will be back because I'm not done playing with this kit. Thanks for joining me, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. And go do something creative today. Thanks.